Greetings everyone, this is me again, Zara Berserk. Okay, now it's on this. Islam had alliances with non-Muslims, thus it's a tolerant religion and allows freedom of religion to others, non-Muslims. So, how shall I say, rights. They have rights to practice their religion and allows freedom to all religions. Okay, so let's see. I'm not feeling too well again, so sorry about this again and again. This is ongoing. I apologize, and so you'll have to bear with me. Okay, I'm slow and voice could be frail, faint at times, miskeen, meek, because not getting enough rest and proper sleep and all this, and due to my condition, so I'm deteriorating and I cannot wait to get better in the daytime because as I've woken up and so what shall I say to see, and forgetting some things and all, but it's not going to improve in the daytime after some time, so I might as well do this now. So my performance may be really bad. I apologize for that. Okay, then now taking you to this about where's this ayat? Surah Nisa 90 shows that, okay, I have to take, yeah, here it is. Don't have to take you to my notes. Surah Nisa 90 shows that except for those who take refuge with the people between yourselves and whom is a treaty, or those who come to you, their hearts strained at the prospect of fighting you or fighting their own people. But what's important here is this: they take refuge with the people between yourselves and whom is a treaty. These hypocrites that are mentioned, that the Muslims were divided on how to punish them, how to deal with them actually. So Surah Nisa 89, they wish you would disbelieve as they disbelieved, so they would be alike. So do not take from among them allies until they emigrate for the cause of Allah. Now, those non-believers who do not wish you to disbelieve as they disbelieve, so you would say that's, you haven't mentioned those. That's why they have alliances with other non-Muslims, because these hypocrites wish you to disbelieve as they disbelieve. So you would be alike, right? Okay, so this sort of hypocrites. So do not take from among them allies, friends, until they emigrate for the cause of Allah. The condition being, until they emigrate for the cause of Allah. But if they turn away, i.e. refuse, then seize them and kill them. So at the inception, you would say, of Islam, they had to be very careful that these hypocrites, they wish you would disbelieve as they disbelieved. And no, it's and okay, first thing, I'm a bit of, what is the matter with you that you are two groups concerning the hypocrites? Just to make sure that they've been called hypocrites. while Allah has made them fall back into error and disbelief for what they earned. I think even calling them hypocrites is wrong by this Allah. And in some of my previous live streams, I've shown that actually it's not these hypocrites, but it's him, Prophet Muhammad, and it's Allah, false Allah. The Allah is used. Maybe the pagan polytheists Allah, the Jews Allah. At that time, the Arab Jews called their God Allah. Maybe the Christian also, the Christian Arabs at that time who called their God Allah. So all this. Now, what came to me when I was examining some of the verses in the Quran that I cannot show you right now, I'm not prepared for that, is that actually I find out that he himself is a hypocrite. Oh, like for example, taking Surah Tahrim ayat and taking Surah Ahzab ayat of adoption of son. There was the Sunnis say he was not a prophet as yet when he did that. So overlooked. Things are forgiven what you've done in your past, because now since you didn't know Islam was going to come and it's come, so then it's okay what you practiced in the past, and then you embraced Islam. So when you embraced Islam, all your previous whatever you did, of course, that goes without saying, right, is overlooked. And so Prophet Muhammad's adoption of Zayd was overlooked as according to the polytheist custom. But the Shias believed that he was a prophet at that time too. He knew it, and there was a time for declaration in his 40th year somewhere. But before that, he knew that he was a prophet. Okay. So I can use those Surah Azab ayats against showing the Shias, not against the Shias, against their belief that Prophet Muhammad is such a good, exalted character, moral values he has, and all this. Then doing that, and I realized Surah Azab ayat 36 and 37 also, with context to Zainab bin Josh and Zayd's marriage. I realized that what a horrid person this is. Can't even be a decent, reasonable marriage counselor, let alone our soul's physician, as we believed, Shias. If you believed in that, the Prophet Muhammad was our soul's physician, not only our everything, to follow his example, but the women need to follow the example of his daughter, Fatima and Zainab and Bibi Zainab and all this, right? But especially Fatima, because she was pure, completely innocent, 100% infallible. So this, and then okay. So I'm going to show you where even the captives, claim that how nice he was with the captives, and if you give the historical that they used to take the captives and kill them, and Prophet Muhammad didn't do that. But first, I would prefer it if you would not go to that, before pre-Islamic history and all this, for see your own prophet according to the Quran as it is. It's very difficult to prove such a hypocrite who's exploited Allah to no end. And the ayats he's given us, like no one can make a Quran like this. No one can bring about a Quran like this. He's challenged, his Allah is challenged, like showing us his Allah is challenged not only men, so many, but all men. And jinn, even jinns altogether, cannot produce an ayat or a surah like this, which is in the Quran, right? Now in kitab form, book form. So I realized, so I think the modern Muslimists and all this who give these kind of examples going back to history, saying, oh, our Prophet was so great, he didn't kill any captives. At least the Quran ayat doesn't say it, and all that. So I will be going there to show you. I don't think you should take that pre-Islamic history to say, oh, our Prophet was so great. What is the matter with you that you are two groups containing the hypocrites? So here it says kill them and kill these hypocrites, but then it goes on to say that, except for those who take refuge with the people between yourselves and whom is a treaty. This shows that at least in this condition of the ayat, thank you very much, Zalmi returns. Hallelujah, ma'am. Why are you saying it in a Christian manner? Do you have a Christian friend channel? Well, you spelled it well. You seem like an educated person at times. I have failed to spell hallelujah, So every time I have to look at the spelling dictionary. So you're a hidden Rustam, वो क्या बोलते हैं? छुपा Rustam. Huh? So back here, hearts trained. Okay, because fighting you or fighting their own people, yani, or those who come to you. So here, first I'm concentrating on the alliance part of non-Muslims. You'd say the Muslims of that time were asked to have, and Prophet Muhammad did. Yes, I have Christian friends. Oh, I see, okay. Alliance, non-Muslims, so they were seeking, because they were, these ones, so these non-Muslims whom the Muslims had an alliance with, weren't doing what they were doing. These hypocrites, they but wish that you should reject faith as they do, and thus be on the same footing as them. But take not friends from their ranks until they flee in the way of Allah. But if they turn renegades, right, seize them and slay them wherever you find them. Just for that now. But then the story turns in the later 90th ayat. So this is the 89th. The next ayat. I think Prophet Muhammad wanted to show in the beginning that he was very, very nice, very tolerant, peaceful. If they don't fight you, don't fight them. But why would it come in the first ayat like this? But if they turn renegades, seize them and slay them wherever you find them. You see, we are closely examining the Quran ayats. We are not going to some history or someone said this or that person, historic, Islamic history. A foreigner even said it. Whoa! Oh, Charles Dickens said this about Imam Hussein. Mahatma Gandhi said this. A Hindu has written a full poem on Imam Hussein. Allama Iqbal has written. I'm not doing that. You need to first closely examine these Quran verses and be able to tell who is the hypocrite through these ayats. And when it's absolutely necessary to go to the Islamic sources to see the tafsirs, then we do it in an honest manner, not cherry picking, just to understand the ayat. Not to jump into conclusions and say, not to just go for the tafsirs because I feel that I should hit on Islam. Chicken Wing Steve, this is about please read the topic. Here I've put Muslims had alliances with non-Muslims. The earlier on first Muslims at the time of Prophet Muhammad. Is that true or false? Modern Muslims say because Islam, then that makes Islam a very tolerant religion, and it's given freedom of religion to other non-Muslims. So I have to examine the Quran ayats to show you that how true that is or how false that is. And I'm telling you how I take it and how I'm trying to show you. This is what it is about. Not like someone like you who accuses me, blames me, doesn't say anything of Surah Mujadila ayat 2 against Surah Azab ayat 6. Ummul Mumineen, when the wives of Prophet were made mothers, and there's a clear contradiction between Surah Azab ayat 6, which I showed you, yet you are not able to see that. Are you a modern Muslim? Sorry. Okay, I'm back. See, again, you're doing this to me. I'm back, I'm this. Sorry, I have to time you out. You are a waste of time. You are a shameless person. You are a troll. You are sick. What did you say? Stop this nonsense. I need a moderator to come here because I don't want to be distracted at this moment, a weak moment in my life. We don't want this kind of people. Okay, because I'm not feeling well. I'm doing my best here. This moment is weak because you don't have Allah with you. Yes, and the power, right? Seek for Him and you will feel better. How many Muslims have the power of Allah? Don't go insane. Huh? Maybe you and your family. Your mother is sane? How many wives does your father have? You are male. Hey, chicken wing man, take it easy. Seek for Him and you will feel better. No, I feel more scared. This Allah is a horrible, it's Satan. You have taken power with Satan. No one has the power of Allah. Verily, humans will never find rest until they find Him. Yeah, this is what the Quran ayats claim. I must say there are some good Quran ayats, but with the power of Allah, Satan has also said he will lead astray many illa mukhlisin. So are you from the mukhlisin? Are you the mukhlisin, chicken wing Steve? Huh? Are you the mukhlisin? Are you a modern Islamist like Jawad Hashmi? I just came across him on a live stream who had a debate with Daniel. I can't for the life of me pronounce Daniel H's, another Muslim. So two Muslims having debates, it was pathetic. That is what you call the power and unity that this Allah has given you. The way Jawad Hashmi was so rude, aggressive towards Daniel when I went there. I don't know earlier on who was, how it started. Satan doesn't push humans away from their desires, lust, for example. And Satan is the one who has to give human that desire, that lust. It cannot come from an innocent human being made with the two hands of Allah. We humans did not create evil and did not give him respite, don't even have that power to do what Hakikat Daniel, yes. Zalmi returns, thanks. Yes, but the Quran takes away from these bad desires. First of all, you're blaming humans for lust and desire, and your God does, and then Satan also says that these humans are worse than me. At least I fear Allah, and I know what awaits you, the punishment. However, Satan would never do such a thing. Yes, it's you Muslims. Your Allah blames humans. Okay, it's not you Muslims, but you know what I mean. you think that disbelievers, Satan would never promote good habits to us, avoiding lust. Oh, you mean that? Satan would never promote good habits. Chicken wings are burning in oil. Yes, but why does Allah blame human beings when human beings did not even create evil? Allah says He created the human beings with His own two hands and He breathed into him His soul, a spirit. That's the Quran ayat. So where does this lust and all this? Allah should have put the good in human beings. They are innocent. It was Iblis who did not obey the command. Angels were asked to bow down to Adam. And in this life, you're not allowed to bow down to anyone. There's a contradiction there. A kind of contradiction that I am not able to put my finger on and say. How come angels and then here you people you shouldn't bow to anyone, not even the birds? They have their own. Who are the ones who bow down to Allah? Even nature bows down. I think your shadow bows down to Allah. But there Allah is telling the angels to bow down to Adam. And where has Adam, human being, where has evil, lust, desires? It cannot come from human beings. At least not Adam. Allah says in Surah Araf verse that it was Satan who stripped you naked. So you've got all these contradictions, Chicken Wing Steve. And you don't even have your true name. So troll off. Right? You don't have the courage. You are a coward. Bring your true name here. Afrit. Bring your true name here. Afrit. The Afrit that worked for Suleiman, Shayateen that died for Suleiman. Therefore, there's no problem of evil in the Quran. What do you mean there's no problem of evil in the Quran? Now you are wasting my time here. You're not on topic. I'm going to Afrit, get lost. Put this timer on timeout. I don't need your stupid, dumb things here. So now here, the modern Muslimists and all, I've found promoting this kind of Islam, you would say, yes, it's another face of Islam, but this is not the true face of Islam. I don't quote people and the history and pre-Islamic times, what it was. There were in other religions, in other customs. Right? And then Prophet Muhammad even practices, if you bring the other religions, then you've made it so disgusting. Prophet Muhammad himself was najis. In Surah Muzammil or Surah Mudammil, we are told that he has to clean his najis clothing or leave aside idols, shun idols. So according to the Sunni Muslims, your prophet was najis, idol worshipper, pre-Islamic time. And such strong ayats against polytheists. It's like terrible. Look at this. I think it's in Surah Fat ayat we have here. Surah Fat ayat says, which number is it? And that he may punish the hypocrite women, I can understand, and the hypocrite men. But I don't understand the polities men and the polities women. Allah will punish who imagine an evil opinion of Allah. On them is a round of evil. The wrath of Allah is on them. He has cursed them and got hell ready for them, and evil is it for a destination. Such an intense, outrageously intense verse against polities, men and women. And put in the same category, I think, as hypocrites. With the hypocrites. They don't deserve this. Look at the injustice. So pointing this out, having some throat problems. What else is there? So I have gone to Surah Nisa at 90, Surah Tawbah. Please analyze the verses of Surah Tawbah and do it honestly. Analyze them. Killing of the polytheists, those who've now not even made a pact with you. So I realized that he actually went attacking them when he had alliances with the foreigners, maybe out of Makkah and Yathrib. And Yathrib he also made Medina. So what he did was those non-Muslim countries didn't realize. First he gained their trust, making alliances and saying, okay, yes, don't kill them now. Don't seize them and don't kill them. Surah Nisa at 90. For being murtads or turning away and being hypocrites. So first he took these non-Muslim leaders and all into his confidence, saying, about the good ayats coming. If they don't fight you, don't fight them. Surah Mumtahana, you can even check ayat 8. How he attacked and killed the polytheists, Surah Tawbah tells us. And as you closely examine them, it's coming to a hypocrite who is a killer, who calls polytheists nijis now. So then you can comb it out and you can see that he's, if you're intelligent enough to see that actually he wants them cleaned out. So he betrayed the alliances also, that he says these Makkans betrayed an alliance with the Muslims of that time, blaming them. But you see in another ayat like how polytheists can be killed, there, seized, wait in ambush for them, kill them. What not? The way it's written, it's disgusting. You can see that those who even did not break the alliance pact, they're given time period, but then kill if you find them there. And if they don't change to your religion, Islam, then kill. So it unravels so tragically, so sadly. So this is what I wanted to share, and I did share that part in my earlier live stream. Now then, look at Surah Hashr ayat and analyze that. Right? He even changed. He's taken over Makkah. He even changed the Yathrib to Medina. Then you go to that captive. You say, Surah. Okay, so you say he doesn't kill captives, but in Surah Nisa ayat. So I'm not going to go now to Surah Tawbah ayats. Maybe I won't be able to reach like that. But I've been coming on live stream, and my style. That I've shown you already. So you go to surahs. I was looking at this earlier on, some years back now, some time back. Accursed wherever they are found, being seized and massacred completely. So when I looked at this being seized, I said, aren't they captives? I mean, for some time, because they've now been seized. Although the name of captives is not mentioned here, but when you seize a person, when I was doing this, whether I uploaded in a video, a very dark video with just my voice not showing. You see, like in the captives of in Surah Muhammad, it's not mentioned they are captives, right? Set them free or in ransom. After you have tied them and all, strike at their necks. Now, does someone, if when you meet the disbelievers, you say, okay, fight them, but strike at their necks? When does this come? It came all of a sudden in Surah Muhammad ayat 4 maybe or 3. Which one? That I'm forgetting the number. So you see, as it doesn't mention captives by name, although captives, when you have thoroughly, so here you could have these captives, right? When you found them and seized them, you've taken hold of them. They could now become your captives. But conveniently you say no. Massacred completely. You can give them a chance to make them captive since you've seized them. If seizing is not captivity for some, when you've seized them, you can call them captives. If not, then you can give them a chance. You have a choice to make them captives for a longer period now, because you've seized them. Finding them, you've seized them. No, Prophet Muhammad never killed captives. Even the Shia commentary under some ayahs. Please, don't make us stupid and dumb. We need to analyze what is coming out. We analyze. What's coming out is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Bible verse, right? That's what's coming out. And if you fail to see it, and if you want to defend him, that's your prerogative, that's your choice. But I can, since I've seen it and I've analyzed it deeply, the Quran verses. And I don't go to that history and that one's history and the Bible or that one, like that. And with rhetorics and talking quickly and, okay, it's good to talk quickly. I'm slow. Anyways, the Quran ayat says, don't be fast in this, reading, reciting slow and steady, and analyze, right? Surah, where was it? I don't know, I can't remember. Don't be fast in your tongue reading this, reciting this. So, then we come to Surah Anfal. What's in Surah Anfal? Surah Anfal, it behoves not a prophet to take captives. Now captives are used, the word properly used. So I want to even show you that Quran misses to use captives properly, use words properly. It's a pathetic book. Not well written, not well conveyed. It's got sentence structure problems. It's got many errors. It's not even clear. And sometimes it doesn't even mention that they could become captives. Seize them. In Surah Zabad 61, wherever you find them, that's the moment. They are captives. Captives of yours. Oh, please have a look at that. I will go back to Surah Zabad 61. So it behoves not a prophet to take captives until he has sufficiently suppressed the enemies in the land. Now, what could these enemies be in the land? Right? Could they be those who oppose Prophet Muhammad, just opposed with by letter or by words or by poems? And why shouldn't they? Not is for a prophet that there should be for him prisoners of war, asra, okay, until he has battled strenuously. How many captives are going to, how many, how many will remain captives, prisoners of war? Oh, please don't tarnish our intelligence. Ask questions. Deeply go into this. Don't stop us from questioning, cross-questioning, interrogating. How many prisoners of war will remain until he has battled strenuously in the land you desire? Oh, you desire in the land? Okay, now capital. So there's a full stop here, it seems. You desire until he has. It doesn't say, where does it say enemies? It doesn't say in the ayat enemies. Maybe later? Where does it? Let's see. I cannot, I don't have the patience, sorry. Until he has battled strenuously in the land. You desire the commodities of the world. Now what's going on? All of a sudden, it's gone back to you believers, Muslims. He believes in you very much, very much. He believes in his believers. Remember that ayat? When it says, after it says, he's all ears, they mock him, they hurt him. So Allah says that, no, he believes in his believers. But does he believe in you, Muslims, his Muslims? Very well put. You know what Shia say? That's why Shia say that the believer is only one and only Ali at that time, and very few companions of Prophet Muhammad. Because now, who desires the commodities? Come to your own translators, i.e. some Muslims at that time. So the blame has gone to some Muslims of that time. Your own translators of this ayat telling us who desire the commodities of this world. So in the land, until he inflicts a massacre in the land, you, then full stop. Then it goes to so he's saying, oh, you Muslims. He's not even saying the disbelievers or the enemies, his enemies. But you Muslims, some of you Muslims there with him, desire the commodities of this world. So he's put the blame on some Muslims, right? To cover his what his desire is. Can you not see psychological analysis of this? You, i.e. some Muslims. It's not even for those people who will come later or those who disbelievers there or hypocrites. Some of you, your own Muslims of that time, it says you desire the command. So that's what he wanted. That's why he's inflicting a massacre in the land. But he says, but Allah desires for you the year after. And Allah is exalted in might and wise. So if you go through upon Allah's enemies, so this I would not take. But this I would definitely take. Why? Am I cherry picking? No. You see, the thing you do when you analyze something is, if from the Muslims, if something is coming against the Muslims, and they have put it, they have accepted it, then why shouldn't I accept it? Tell me. And how many captives will remain? Prisoners of war. Huh? So he doesn't need to kill the captives. He could just a few of them bind them and then give them ransom or set them free. He makes sure no one is his neighbor, no non-Muslim. Fight against those adjacent to you, your neighbors. Surah Tawbah ayat. You see what a clever person. I had to analyze deeply this. Against my great admiration for Imam Hussein, his grandson. Not only that, I've commemorated, and I don't have to tell you, vigils in the night. Going to Bibi Sakina's martyrdom day tabut. The whole night there, when I could. So you see, and I know, always be with the oppressed. In pain, the friend that is with you in your pain and allows you to go through that pain. Not, oh, come on, get out of it. Come on, let me take you out. No. The friend who tells you, no, you should see, you should pay attention to your pain and give you that grieving time too. And that, because it's none of our business to tell you to come out of it and all this. None of our business. But if you're asking a friend for help and support, she better be with you in that pain. बहलाना वहलाना नहीं चलता है at that time. समझे? Go for entertainment and थोड़ा mind off, might take jokes बना रहे हैं, तुम्हें आपको हंसा रहे हैं. I wonder if you can be my miracle. I wonder if I can spare you pain. But what does Whitney Houston's song say? I don't know how you can relate to so much pain. We were with Imam Hussein. I don't want to boast about it. In his pain. How many friends, how many people would remain with you in that pain, crying with you? And then we laugh. Maybe because you laugh, then after crying, after your heart is for that moment lighter, you can laugh out. So this is what I used to do, and those friends who allowed me, we had great laughter. So I'm not saying run away from your pain. At every step, life could be painful, betrayal, this, that. There are many bad people out. So don't think I'm escaping from my Shia religion because I did not want to cry, because I'll get wrinkles on my eyes, around my eyes. I would, or I don't want to be sad all the time. No. Khalil Gibran's you and we and you. We are the people of sorrow. And you know what Khalil Gibran is my favorite one of my favorites in this. The Prophet, I used to keep his bedside in my drawer, bedside table. Like the Quran, I would keep on top. the Prophet later on, but the Prophet was always in my bedside table drawer. So here I am analyzing Quran ayats and I found him. Okay, so back to this. Be here with the pain. I'm here with you, and thanks for the support that you give me when you come here. Those who give me that support, who silently persevere with me even, who are listening silently. You mean a lot to me. When you don't say nothing, you say everything. Your presence here means a lot to me. Sometimes people say with words they don't mean the words they say. Sometimes the silent ones are the greater ones, the true ones. And sometimes we need to know when, have the wisdom, have the serenity to know when to even give support through words now it's necessary. Like I was thinking about Imam Hussein, when Bibi Zainab had to now bring out and give the story, the tragedy, the atrocities committed against them, speak openly and spread the news. When to keep silent, like Imam Ali, my father, said, for 30 years remained silent when his haq, his right was, the God's right given to him, was snatched away from him. 30 years, my father said, Imam Ali remained silent. And when to speak when your right is snatched. So for the good of unity of Muslims at that time, Imam Ali, we are told, forsake his God's right snatched away from him, given to him, to keep the unity of Islam, yet he had to fight so many wars, and that was so shocking against Muawiyah and all that later on, but at the beginning, 30 years he remained silent. Okay? So when to say and when not to say. When to keep quiet and when not to keep quiet. It is not for a prophet to have captives of war until he inflicts a massacre in the land. Please ask yourselves, how many captives would remain? Am I the only one asking myself this? Do you want me to come here straining my eyes again and again? My brains out will burst out. So modern Muslims and your rhetorics and your eloquence and your knowledge, how can I even listen to that junk? When you've missed the Quran ayats, imports proper, analyzing them, please see, this is very easy. I'm showing you. And thank God someone's helping me to show you. God knows who it is this time. And maybe I'll die soon. Here. Because it's a killer. So I'm putting my light off and on. Sorry for the sound if you're hearing it. Trying to read. I've just jotted down a little bit. So take over Makkah, yeah. And Surah Azab, Ayah 27, show them. Okay, did I show you Surah Azab, Ayah 27? Yeah, I've forgotten to. So first, I haven't. So what do I do? Show. Can't see properly. Okay, you see this? How many? Ask yourselves. Then I take you to Surah. How many captives did remain? What are you people talking about? You can't see it. I'm showing you, showing you, showing you. When you meet the unbelievers in battle is not yet mentioned in this ayat. When you meet the disbelievers or unbelievers, smite their necks until you have crushed them. It just says meet. It doesn't even say if they are the first to meet you or you are the first to meet them. Such an obscure ayat with smite them at their necks. You see, it's not clear whether, so when it says, so when you meet, whether the meeting was arranged by the disbelievers, we don't know. Should have been clear here, but it's not. Even in the end, it does say that when the wars lays down its burdens, but then if it was the you Muslims who met them, disbelievers, then you started the war. So of course, until you've got so many disbelievers, God knows how many, because this ayat says again, Surah Anfal, ayat 67, it is not for a prophet to have captives of war until he inflicts, he's supposed to inflict a massacre in the land, and this put upon Allah's enemies. And so he's blaming the Muslims now. So you desire the commodities of this world. Now when the Badouan said in Surah Fat that when you go for the spoils of war, what they are blamed heavily by saying that they changed the word of Allah. There and here I have to come. Also that point, right? See. His Allah himself is blaming some Muslims for desiring the commodities of this world. Why? Also because from the war, they will get spoils of war. Right. Another point. So I hope I've made it clear that very few captives will remain for him to kill. Also this side. And don't forget Surah Azab ayat 61. When you seize them, they automatically have become your captives. But you kill them. Yet you could have chosen to make them captives. And there was no war against you. The only war was an opposition, rumors. In Surah Azab 60, you can see about these hypocrites and those in whose hearts is a disease, and the rumor mongers. There was no war, battlefield. There was no battlefield calling them to a battle. How can you reform? Hypocrites are there. Now, if I tell you to go find hypocrites, kill them. Seize, wherever you find them, seize them. First it's seizing, then it's killing. So when you are told they are seized, they automatically, but they don't even become prisoners of war, because there's no war. There's just killing against them. You haven't given them the weapon, or they don't have that weapon. You haven't given them a battlefield. So Prophet Muhammad didn't kill any captives. Never in his life. What a lie I can say now, right? In conclusion to what I've shown you here. Through the Quran ayats only. Not quoting any Muslim and this and any history, and just analyzing Quran ayats. I've caught the Satan's grandfather and grandmother. here. I mean, Iblis is nothing in front of this man. And then did I not show you who does this? And then he's blaming the Muslims. Then when in Fat, Surah Fat, the Baduans say, when you go for the spoils of war, take us with you. They've changed the word of Allah. Shall I show you Surah Fat ayats? They didn't want to fight. They didn't want to help Prophet Muhammad in the conquest of Makkah, to go with him. So please infer. They must have said, oh please Makkans, give him the Kaaba. He's creating a great thing here. We want to be with our families, working in our businesses. He's telling us to fight this. Surah Al Imran 167. Fight. At least defend yourselves. What is this? Huh? Surah Al Imran. And the hypocrites also, they were told, come. Now the hypocrites are told to come fight in the way of Allah in order to test them. So the hypocrites are saying, but you see, this is ridiculous. Even look at this point here. How much ridiculousness is in this Quran? 167 ayat and other ayats. This ayat, look at this. He's trying to test who is a believer and who's a hypocrite from his believers. So this is how he tests them. Come fight in the way of Allah. Or at least defend. Or defend what? I don't know. It's obscure. They said, if we had known there would be a battle, we would have followed you. Or another translation says, they answered, if we but knew that there would be fighting. Okay. And the Quran ayat says, at least defend. They said, if we knew fighting. If we knew fighting, or what? If we knew there was fighting, or if we knew fighting, certainly we would followed you. We would have followed you. They, to disbelieve that day, your Allah can't write properly and is testing. What is he testing? In Jangib Odd? But it can't be. At least defend yourselves. But because your own translators have put, defend yourselves in quotation marks here. Abul Ala Maududi. We are told to find out who's a hypocrite and who's a believer. You can tell them to fight. And when these hypocrites were asked, come fight in the way of Allah. Defend yourself at least. Defend. What? Do you see himself as what? His Allah does. What is this ayat? Where's the war? And saying, the hypocrites are lying. There was war. At least they should have defended. The people maybe have come on their land. They should have fought them. What? Look at all the scenarios, right? And the hypocrites also, these were told, come fight in the way of Allah. Or drive, or at least drive the foe from your city. Now this a little bit meaning of this ayat, to make more sense of it, right? Because like that it doesn't make sense. We are told the hypocrites are being tested. For what? Come fight in the way of Allah? And they won't fight. This is not to protect the women, elderly people, children were shouting, "Get us out of this land where the people are zalim." Surah Nisa ayat. This is Al Imran ayat. Doesn't go with Surah Nisa ayat. Fight. So what does it say? Fight. Let me see if Yusuf Ali explains this like this. The foe from your city. They said, okay, what they said, were told that it was a lie. They were that day nearer to unbelief than to faith, saying with their lips what was not in their hearts, but Allah had full knowledge of all they conceal. Please closely examine these ayats to see what actually was going on. Those who said about their those who said about their brothers while sitting at home, if they had obeyed us, they would not have been killed. Say, then prevent death from yourselves. Oh my God. Okay, death will come anyways, but aren't you supposed to protect yourselves? And if until you're alive, take care not to fight. Be peaceful. Send words of peace. Do actions that are peaceful, not distressing, not disturbing to others. Take care of your body. Eat well. Eat proper food. Death will come. But until you're alive, work on your life. Work on your body. Give it good khurak, nourishment. So this reasoning, say, then prevent death from yourselves if you should be truthful, is such a satanic reasoning. And then you see, when Satan gave that reason to Allah, he didn't accept it. Satan also gave reason to Allah why he didn't bow to Adam when commanded. But the angels were commanded. And I feel still there's a contradiction. What is a jinn? A jinn is not an angel. How? It's not from a different group of angels. Because when the polytheists are attacked in the Quran, we are told that they worship jinns. And jinns are rebellious Satan. And some of them are satanic, right? Some of them have become Muslims, but they're not angels. They worship jinns. They make relations between Allah and jinn, and they worship jinns. So these jinns are not angels. Moreover, the contradiction point is, in the Quran, when Allah told the angels to bow to Adam, not the jinni. That's a different makhlukat. Those are different creation of God, different than angels. So there's a contradiction. Critical examination of Quran ayats. What deceptions, what mess, what unclarity, what obscurity, right? If you don't understand the word obscure, it's unclear. Open to interpretations, could be easily misunderstood. Then you're going against, feeling bad, or bad feelings for the non-Muslims. Yeah, they're enjoying life. What is that ayat I found recently? Let them enjoy in the arrogance, enjoy the pleasures, temporary pleasures. Yes, go to London, take a sigh of relief, freedom. I can wear my skirt, my jeans. Wow, I just change quickly. Go walk. Oh, so much freedom. No Britisher harassing me, laughing at me. Mischievous Britisher. Saves a life. You have made my day, London. That's why every time I leave there, it's like pilgrimage. I pray at London's Heathrow as I set my foot off, my feet are off that blessed ground of London land. I pray, may I come back again to this blessed land. They gave me freedom. They took care of me when I was a student there. You know how hard it was for me. Keep away from my family for the first time. I was so homesick, I cannot tell you. Slowly, I mean, you don't realize. I was missing my home. You don't realize the grass is always greener on the other side. When I went back home, what? Pakistan. What did I get? Bomb blast in Imam Barkas? Many things I got. Shocking. Heartbreaking and traumatic. You can't walk without being harassed. Or you have to be very you know how you have to be very conscientious how you walk in the, let's say if you go to Clifton Market, shops, with the shalwar kameez dupatta like that, but you have to be very careful, even then. If they had obeyed us, they would not have been killed. Say, then prevent death from yourselves, if you should be truthful. You may think I'm being very hard on this, but think again. Rethink, please, because there's fighting. Hypocrites, what is this? Reason proper not given. Then we have lame things. We have a strike at their necks when you meet them. This is traumatizing. Strike it. So when it doesn't say fight them here like in Surah Tawbah. Seize them, wait in ambush for them. It says that. Right? So when you meet those who disbelieve, then strike the necks. Oh, you're allowed to strike the necks. That's why this ayat came down like this. What a way it came down to tell you you can strike at their necks when you meet them. Until when you have subdued them. These very people you have struck at their necks. Look at the ayat, please. Closely examine. Don't go fast. I know the Muslim fast world, it is. If there is no balance, we will fall down. World is going very advanced, very fast, advancing very fast. Okay? But Muslims, Muslims, modern Muslims, advanced Muslims, I didn't have to leave this religion. Another thing was my mother was very liberal with me. A liberal Shia Muslim. I didn't have to leave this religion. I didn't have to do hijab. It was my own choice I made later on in my life after coming back from London. Okay? Don't miss these clues here. This is the Nana, the maternal grandfather of Shaitan, a warmonger. You see, and then again it also tells you, I don't know where this ayat comes from, that he is, I hope you get it. I hope you do your research. Look at this ayat, Surah Muhammad ayat that I've shown you. Then we go to Surah Baqarah, right? That I keep showing you when it comes to whether this is a true prophet. Has he massacred in land to the extent where he's blaming the a lot until he's subdued? What? What are we told in that? Where's that ayat, Surah Anfal ayat? Lights on, please. Where's my lamp? Huh? Show Surah Azab, ayat 27. Oh, this is when you will inherit land that you have not trodden on, and properties and whatnot. Surah Hashar, I haven't reached this yet. But that ayat, where is it? The one I showed you earlier. And of the people is he whose speech pleases you in worldly life? And he calls Allah to witness. He calls Allah to witness, mind you. Pay attention. Who is calling Allah to witness? The people calling Allah to... we are told, if he's calling Allah to witness as to what is in his heart. Allah has not been witnessing what is in his heart on his own. But there is someone who calls Allah to witness, calling. And he calls to witness, Allah, on what is in his heart, qalbi. And when most is quarrelsome of opponents, khisami. Opponents, right? Have you ever seen Muhammad in the Quran ayats where they've opposed? Not that they have not opposed in some way, it's called fight. They've given, they have not fought you for your religion. They're not fighting you. Look at the wordings put. Please tell us if they oppose us against our religion, Islam, then the way they should oppose you, that's the way you should oppose them. Fight, bring out your religion, how to deal with that. That's not explained in the Quran clearly. So he calls to witness as to what is in his heart, yet he's what? Most quarrelsome of opponents. Allah and Prophet Muhammad are coming close to this. So this Allah is Satan, who is called to his heart and cannot stop him. And when he goes away, he strives throughout the land to cause corruption therein and destroy crops and animals. You're told you can even have cows, cow meat, beef, just not pig, goats. In Surah Hashar, what are you told? Cutting down of trees, destroy crops and animals, corruption throughout the land. And you don't think this is corruption. No, it doesn't clearly say. Surah Anfal ayat 67. It is not for a prophet to have captives, war prisoners of war, until he has battled strenuously in the land. Now the point is what? He can battle strenuously in the land, right? Who is he battling strenuously in the land? Can you, let's see. For the present, Allah hath lightened your task, for He knoweth that there is weak spot in you. Acha. He knows that there's weak spot in you, but death will come to you anyways. But even so, if there are 100 of you patient and persevering, they will vanquish 200. And if 1,000, you will vanquish 2,000. With the leave of Allah, for Allah is with those who patiently persevere. In war, O Prophet, rouse the believers to fight. If there are 20 amongst you, patient and persevering, they will vanquish 200. If 100, they will vanquish 1,000 of the unbelievers. What? For these are people without understanding. So fight the unbelievers. O Prophet, sufficient unto thee is Allah. I can't believe this. And unto those who follow thee among the believers. Sufficient unto thee is Allah. Surah Tahrim ayat, go and see. If you two wives do not desist, what? Allah? Jibrail? Righteous among believers? Moreover, angels will assist him. Moreover, he hath put affection between their hearts. Not if thou hadst spent all that is in the earth, couldst thou have produced that affection. But Allah hath done it, for He is exalted in might wise. How far back shall I go? I'll go back. Should they intend to deceive thee, verily Allah sufficeth thee. He it is that hath strengthened thee with His aid. Now, who are these disbelievers? But if the enemy inclines towards peace, do thou also incline towards peace. And trust in Allah, for He is one that heareth and knoweth all things, right? Okay. So you will say, these enemies, and if they incline to peace, incline to peace. Against them make ready your strength to the utmost of your power, including steeds of war, to strike terror into the hearts of the enemies of Allah and your enemies, and others besides, whom you may not know, but whom Allah doth know. Whatever you shall spend in the cause of Allah shall be repaid unto you, and you shall not be treated unjustly. Okay, I have to read Surah Anfal ayats. Let not the unbelievers think that they can get the better. They will never frustrate. What is this? If thou fearest treachery from any group, throw back to them on equal terms their treachery. For Allah loveth not the treacherous. If you gain the mastery over them in war, disperse with them those who follow them, that they may remember. They are those with whom thou didst make a covenant, but they break the covenant every time, and they have not the fear of Allah. Right? For the worst of peace in the sight of Allah are those who reject Him. Also this, they will not believe. Rejecting Allah, they are the worst of creatures. Again, Surah Anfal ayat 55. Who do you think he's fighting? Oh, you'll say, I know. Deeds after the manner of the people of Pharaoh and those before them they treated as false the signs of the Lord. So we destroyed them for their crimes. And we drowned the people of Pharaoh, for they all oppressors and wrongdoers, right? For they were all oppressors and wrongdoers. Because Allah will never change the grace which He hath bestowed on a people until they change what is in their own souls. And verily Allah is He who heareth and knoweth all things. I think it's enough, right? Now I will be going to that. In peace. Indeed, the worst of living creatures in the sight of Allah are those who have disbelieved, and they will not believe. So just on disbelief, now look at this also, right? They are the worst of creatures. And Ahle Kitab, when do they become disbelievers? Even though Ahle Kitab. Remember that also. Keep that in mind. The ones with whom you made a treaty, but then they break their pledge every time, and they do not fear Allah. This refers especially to the Jews. After arriving in Medina, the Prophet concluded a treaty of mutual cooperation and good neighborliness with them. Not only did the Prophet, now I have to read this, take the initiative in this connection, he also tried his best to maintain pleasant relations with them. The Prophet also felt greater affinity with the Jews than with the polytheists of Makkah. As a rule, he always showed preference to the customs and practices of the people of the book over those of the polytheists. Yet he, when he was not a prophet, practiced a polytheist. And he was a polytheist before, according to the Sunnis. Before he found out, Jibreel came to him and told him that you are a prophet. Okay. So, of the book over those of the polytheists, but somehow the Jewish rabbis and scholars were irked by the Prophet's preaching of pure monotheism, and the moral uprightness. Surah Tahrim ayats. Moral uprightness. Surah Azab ayat 52, moral uprightness. Marrying women, if you find beauty in them, God says, not to help the widows, the orphans, for him. Going to please his wives, going out of the folds of Islam, the command, not to make unlawful what the good things Allah has made lawful. For you believers, Surah Ma'idah 87. No, I don't think the Jews found moral uprightness in this Prophet. You can get by saying pure monotheism, because the ayat says that Jews made Azra their son. Okay. If you want to just gulp that ayat. When did these Jews make Azra the son of God? Sorry, did I say their son? I meant son of God, Azra. So that was not pure monotheism. You want to gulp that, you gulp that. Digest it. And accept it. On face value, what you are being told here, which appeared in Jewish belief and conduct, let alone his scathing criticism of the deviations which appeared in Jewish belief and conduct. They were constantly engaged, therefore, in efforts to sabotage the new religious movement. In Yathrib, their city, please, we don't want you. Shouldn't he leave? I've shown you ayat. When the souls, angels take the souls of people, what do they ask? They ask, how were you? They say we were oppressed. Why did you not find Allah's land vast and leave for a better land where you wouldn't be oppressed? What does then Allah say in that ayat? They collaborated with the hypocrites who were apparently an integral part of the Muslim body politic to serve the same, and they fanned flames to rejuvenate the old animosities between the Aus and the Khazraj, we are told. It wouldn't be surprising if this man did it himself, which had brought about bloodshed and fratricide. He's a caravan robber. Since we're reading, can't you see he's a warmonger? What happened before Badr, Jang-e-Badr? Pre-Islamic times, fratricide and like killing of the babies alive, burying them. Goodness, is that what this means? Okay. They attempted to hatch conspiracies against Islam in collaboration with the Quraysh and other tribes. What was all the more deplorable was they indulged in these nefarious activities despite their treaty of friendship and cooperation with the Prophet. When the Battle of Badr took place, they took it for granted that the Muslims would not be able to survive the very first attack of the Quraysh. However, when the outcome of the battle dashed their hopes, they became all the more spiteful, apprehending that the victory in the battle. So you can see, oh my God, okay, it's quite long, right? Jewish tribe in violation of the agreements of friendship and alliance. They'd given him Fadak, a whole oasis, land, for peace, keeping peace with them. By God, if we were to wage war against you, we will know that we are the men. Ibn Hisham, volume 2, page 47. Right. This is what seemingly you're told. Now I have to prove through, because my thing is to prove through Quran ayats. Now why would the Jews do this to him? And why would I as a Shia do this? Why am I doing this? Because I didn't find him a true prophet. Reading the Quran ayats only. Surah Nur ayat 33 is not written well, that part. If there's no compulsion of prostitution, then it's not put well. And my all-knowing God, that I was told the all-knowing, the absolute, omniscient, omnipresent, all-hearing, visions do not perceive him. Great ayats like this coming. He didn't come up to that supreme creator. So not only Surah Azab ayat 36, 37, adoption according to, when he did it as a prophet, according to Shias, I would not accept it. I saw an error there. Quran ayat says you made an error. How could you be a prophet? And then Aka Medipuya commentaries and Quran ayat saying, Surah Najm ayat, that he does not speak out of his own desire. He does not go pleasing others, compromising, pleasing Allah. You see, he can't do that. He can't. He's not at all. That would make him a false prophet, a hypocrite. Surah Tahrim ayat 1 and 2. Surah Ahzab ayats. Surah Nam Mujadila ayat 2 against Surah Ahzab ayat 6. Ummul Mumineen. Many such things. that I find, and earlier on about these, as I'm taking the ayats and showing you, okay, then you would say, am I avoiding? I'm going to the peace ayat. So if you, O Muhammad, gain dominance over them in war, disperse by means of them those behind them that perhaps they will be reminded. Disperse, kill them, and make an example of them to discourage those who follow them. So if you, O Muhammad, gain dominance over them in war, captives he didn't kill. No. There's no example in the lifetime of Prophet Muhammad given in history, Islamic history. Or even if you take non-Islamic history, I think coming from some Jews of that time, he never killed any. Killed them? When you gain dominance over them in war, it just doesn't say prisoners of war here, but what is it implying? Do you know the word implying mean? Huh? Do you know what it means by what is it implying? And do you know that second meaning? That second, sometimes it's a dreadful meaning when you read between the lines. Suppose you have a friend, he comes or she comes. It shows it's so happy, I'm so thrilled for your success and all this, right? And then you find out behind your back, some things like, I'm really scared of your anger. What does that tell you? Right? No. Maybe you haven't gotten angry at them. You've given them chance after chance. You've even bent your principles, rules for them. When, their father sends them to your house. Let's say a female. Now you're thinking whether I should be faithful to the father or called, like that would be deception. But because the male cousin, needs help, otherwise the father would not allow that. And I've been told, now put it, I'm so scared of you. To imply, what does it mean? What's the meaning of imply? And your friend is showing that she's very nice. She's got, I tell you, public, what do you call that? In public relations. She could be a tour guide here. Hello. And she could be an air hostess. Groomed to smile at you. Hello. Have a good day, sir. Hope you had a nice, what do you call it? Travel journey. Right? These are the hypocrites you should be scared of. Not the Zara that go, but I never did this to her. Behind your back. She doesn't allow me to make friends. But let's say you haven't found that out. And you have not ever thought of that. Because of her, I can't make friends. And what if I say she didn't allow me to be alone, free from her then? So please be careful of such hypocrites. Indicate the truth or existence of something by suggestion rather than explicit, hinting, indirect. If you don't understand this, give someone to, indirectly, tacitly, unacknowledged. Please be very careful of such people who do this. And I found him and his Allah doing this. Here. So where was I now? Where was I? Surah Anfal ayat is. So if you, O Muhammad, gain dominance over them in war, disperse by means of them those behind them. Those behind them. Do you think we'll ever get captives? Or what? That perhaps they will be reminded through Muhammad? Very few. And of course, he hasn't killed those captives. So if you gain dominance over them in the war, disperse by them. Like use them or disperse by them. What disperse it has? I have to now see the meaning of disperse. He is a monster, but a hidden one. Distribute or speed over a wide area. Do you know what's this? What does it mean? Some common synonyms of disperse are dispel, scatter them, to separate, break up from them. Separate from them. Okay, maybe the translation is not right, so I'll go back. I think it means disperse the crowd, separate, separate, break up from them, dissipate, scatter, walk away from. Which word is this used? In what disperse? I only saw the first meaning, I think. So if you gain dominance over them in war, disperse by them. Now, those behind them, that perhaps they will be reminded. I kill them and make an example of them to discourage those who follow them. So if you meet them in war, make of them a fearsome example. Isn't it like cut off from them for those who follow them? That's what, I don't know why the translators are giving me another meaning of disperse. The verse makes it lawful for Muslims to feel absolved of the obligations of a treaty with the people who, despite that alliance through the obligations of the treaty overboard, engaged in hostility. It would even be lawful for the Muslim to engage in hostilities against them. Okay, I have to go fast. So friendship with the Muslim, sorry, I'm not avoiding this. I'm really not. I really want to understand. I'll leave this. If they gain the mastery over them in war, disperse with them those who follow them, that they may remember. What it means, okay, it could mean that, separate from them. Separate from them in war, right? If you have reason to fear from a people betrayal, throw the treaty back to them. If you have reason to fear, only fear, maybe they have not yet betrayed you, but if you fear from a people betrayal, please look at it again, because Surah Kaf ayat, thank God Christian Prince pointed out that Hazrat Khizr had said, the man with Ilm Laduni sent to Hazrat Musa. Hazrat Musa was trying to find him, to have more knowledge. Right? So he said that we feared that this boy would become a kafir, disbeliever, and we feared. Only on fear. So please have a good analyze this, right? Because according to the Western knowledge and common law uh, way of like, you know, the language used, would it fail? Would it come up to that standard? Like the Gita, Bhagavad Gita comes up to the standard. And if you fear from a people, like if you suspect, then suspicion and suspect, could it mean if on suspicion you fear, or on evidence you fear? It's not clear, right? Do you fear on evidence or on suspicion? Because suspicion is not allowed. Quran ayat says clearly. Suspicion in most cases so do you fear this on knowledge given by God to you? You may say also this, right? Avoid many suspicions, for indeed, I don't know what Quran ayat. Oh, you have believed, do not put yourself before Allah and His Messenger. Do not put yourselves before, okay, Allah and His Messenger. Allah and His Messenger, shirk. Oh, you have believed, do not raise your voice above the voice of the Prophet, or be loud to him in speech, like the loudness of some of you to others, lest your deeds become worthless while you perceive it not. This came down for Umar bin Khattab. And I read I think in the Sunni sources also, I checked. Indeed, it's the same. Indeed, those who lower their voices before the Messenger of Allah, they are the ones whose hearts Allah has tested for righteousness. Now even lower your voices, yes? Indeed, those who call you, O Muhammad, from behind the chambers, most of them do not use reason. Surely most of those who call out to you from behind the apartments are Oh, so you should wait when he comes out, when he's free. And if they had been patient until you come out to them. You see? It would have been better. I don't need this prophet. Thank God. Or you have believed, if there comes to you a disobedient one with information, investigate, lest you harm a people out of ignorance and become over what you have done regretful. And know that among you is the Messenger of Allah. If he were to obey you in much of the matter, you would be in difficulty. But Allah has endured to you the faith and has made it pleasing in your hearts, and has made hateful to you disbelief, defiance, and disobedience. Those are the rightly guided. It is as bounty from Allah and favor, and Allah is knowing wise. So avoid suspicions, right? In most cases, where's that? And if two factions among the believers should fight, then make settlement between the two. But if one of them oppresses the other, fight against the one that oppresses until it returns to the ordinance of Allah. Allah loves those and settle between them in justice and act justly. Indeed, Allah loves those who act justly. And believers are but brothers, so make settlement between your brothers, and fear Allah that you may receive mercy. O you have believed, let not a people ridicule people. Women perhaps may be better than them, and do not insult. And suspicion was the one with. O you have believed, avoid much assumption. Indeed, some assumption is sin, and do not spy, some assumption is sin. Avoid much assumption. This is the suspicion. Believers, avoid being excessively suspicious, for some suspicious is a sin, and do not spy, nor backbite one another. Would any of you like to eat the flesh of his dead brother? You would surely detest it. Have fear of Allah. So, this excessive, and I'm going back to Anfal. O mankind, indeed we have created you from male and female, and made you people tribes. Indeed, most noble of you is in the sight of Allah is the most righteous. So what is the most righteous? You can see. I don't deny if it's good. If the most righteous is only a believer in Allah and who obeys Allah and obeys the Messenger, then that is. Please see, because neither was he most righteous, the one you obey, Prophet Muhammad. Surah Tahrim ayat 1-2, Surah Azab ayats for Shias, and marriage counselor, breaking a marriage. But don't say we have believed, say you have not believed, but say instead we have submitted. And if you obey Allah and His Messenger, He will not deprive you. So even if some polytheists were, let's say, righteous, and the Jews made you into nations, so avoid suspicions, right? Assumptions. Whatever the word, I have to look at it in Arabic. Zana, or you who believe, avoid much of zani, assumption, zani, thinking. Much of that bada, some, assumption, sin, is sin, right? And sin is haram. Surah Araf, ayah 31 or 33 tells us. Sin is haram. Zani. Now, how are you going to avoid this? Much, or in some case, much of the assumption, avoid it. You see here, avoid it. But there you're told, is it back to Surah Anfal? If you have reason, acha, if you, now they put in brackets this, see? Because your Allah has not been to fear, reason to fear, meaning you have some reason to fear from a people, betrayal. If some people have betrayed you and you've endured that betrayal, yet what has happened? Allah doesn't allow betrayal. So even the fear of betrayal is terrible. So I will come to Zana. Did I not come to Zana? Zani, thought. Some messengers thought. Have you seen that ayat? Even the messengers thought. Did I show you? Zani, Zana. So sorry, I'm trying to come to that peace, peace, peace. Equal terms. Indeed, Allah does not like traitors. Right? Even if you like fear, you have fear. Not that they have yet betrayed you, but if you have fear, khawf is from, sometimes this khawf could be a delusion because someone has betrayed you and you can't trust anyone, and now you have that fear of each and everyone because someone very close to you has betrayed you. You see, that can also happen. Let's say Abu Jahl betrayed Prophet Muhammad, which he didn't really. But had he, right, then you would have fear of polytheists and all this, all of them. If you are not stable, if you lose it, if you're a strong person, then you don't fear this. But anyways, in some cases, and if you fear from a people betrayal, throw back to them on equal terms. Indeed, Allah does not love the traitors. Right? So what to make out of this, I can go on thinking about it or contemplating or getting insight. And let not those who disbelieve think they will escape. Indeed, they will not cause failure. And prepare against them whatever you are able of power and of steed or worth, by which you may terrify the enemy of Allah. In fact, but the Jews could have fear of this, the way it is written here. Prepare against them. You need to prepare against them whatever you are able of power and of steeds of war. Okay? Because these Quran ayats are not very clear. By which you may terrify. Yeah, you did it. Surah Ashar, right? You broke their homes. By which you may terrify the enemy of Allah. And you're saying Allah terrified them, put terror in their hearts. Actually, Allah may have used you. Surah Ashar. Shall I go to Surah Ashar ayat 2? And you expelled those Jews from Yathrib, by which you may terrify the enemy of Allah. And prepare for them whatever you are able to, of force and of tethered horses to terrify. Oh, even Muslims can do this, right? Terrify therewith the enemy of Allah. And your enemy, and others from besides them, not you know, but Allah knows them. Okay, here's put enemy of Allah. And your enemy. So you prepare. Yeah, prepare yourself. Then it should be, and if they incline to, but yes. It should have been like, if they don't give you a battle, don't give them a battle. Right? But if they incline to peace, then incline to it and rely upon Allah. Indeed, it is He who is the hearing, the knowing. But if they intend to deceive you, not give you a war battle, but in what manner deceive you? You see, again here, it goes crooked. It goes kind of like, I'm not sure. But if they give you a battle, a war, you see, it should have been very straightforward here and brought together their hearts if you had spent all the... Now it's, see? See, I've caught. You can't say, should they intend to deceive you? Deceive you in what manner? So you're told that even these treacherous people, okay, give them the treachery back, and the enemies of Allah, whose hearts, and your enemies, right? Against the enemies, strike terror into the. Now, it goes kind of hazy after the side. If they incline to peace, then incline to it. Very good. Oh, great. Yes, my Islam, I got it. And rely upon Allah. Yes, indeed, it is He who is hearing the knowing. Rely upon Allah. But if they intend to deceive you, intend. But if they, it's not even if they deceive you, but if they even have the intention to deceive you, niyat, then indeed it's sufficient for you, Allah. He is the one who supported you with His help. Now what is that? How did He support you with His help? Where did He support you with His help? And with the believers. And it is He who supported you with His help. When did Allah support you with His help? Battles. Killing. Allah, 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 you can't see this. When does Allah say, I supported you? Isn't it this also, where He supported you? Allah supported the believers. When they wanted to strike you, when they wanted and withheld their hands. Okay, I'm going with you. Taking it against what I think this man is. Prophet Muhammad. No, he's a monster. No disaster strikes except by the permission. Whoever believes He guides his heart. Allah supported you. No, it's not. I don't know. Strike you. He with that. Allah supported you when? But there's also this. There is no verse in the Quran. My mercy. Allah supported you against the disbelievers, right? Oh God. Believers, do not take the unbelievers as your allies. Do you wish Allah, those are with Him, are strong against unbelievers, compassionate. Allah supported you against the disbelievers in war. Harb. Where is it? War. It's not coming. I have to find it. Believers fight for the cause of Allah, whereas disbelievers fight in the cause of Allah only against those who wage war against you, right? Okay, let's make it easy. Sorry. Okay, that perhaps is difficult. I can't find some of the verses. Fight in the way of Allah those who fight against you, but do not transgress. Indeed, Allah does not like transgressors. Now here, if an honest modern Muslim comes correcting me, I don't think there is one. Sorry. The ones who are doing debates are pathetic. So, okay? So fight in the way of Allah those who fight against you, but do not transgress, right? Allah does not love the transgressors. And kill them wherever you overtake them, and expel them from wherever they have expelled you. And fitna is worse than killing. Oh my goodness. And do not fight them until they fight you there. But if they fight at Masjid al-Haram, until they fight you there. But if they fight you, then kill them. Such is the record. Yes. But Surah Muhammad ayat, like, when you meet the disbelievers, strike at their necks. That's not good. So this is what could be acceptable, yes. So but if they fight you, then kill them. Like if they fight you, kill them. That was very gory. I mean, that was horrid. Strike at their necks. Okay, so you're told here that fight in the cause of Allah those who fight you, right? But do not transgress limits. If they expel you, then expel them. Now I'm going to Surah Ex-Shia, please. Ooh, right? Straight up, giving it to you, showing it. Surah Ex-Shia, ayat 2. It is he who expelled the ones who disbelieved among the people of the scripture. The polities of Makkah expelled him, not these from their city. But they are now being expelled from their city. So all those ayats, like, do not transgress. And if they expel you, then expel them. But if they haven't expelled you, don't expel them, right? How come they are being expelled from their own city? Even when they didn't even expel Prophet Muhammad from their city. From their homes at the first gathering, you did not think they would leave. And they thought, what is the first gathering here? This was the first time they had ever been gathered. Oh, they were gathered and expelled. They were being gathered and expelled from their city, Yathrib. Oh, please, now if you're going to tell me that you can't see this, but you're giving so much importance to those peaceful ayats, and you're stuck on them like anything, and you're embracing it, then you are not an advocate of justice and truth, unbiased. You are an advocate of what you like, what you depend upon, and what gives you security. And maybe what gives you a wife that you can discipline men. And when you want to go into your wife, you go into your wife even if she's tired and doesn't want it, but she can't say no to you because that's the Islamic law, rule. That's not a Quran ayat, but we all know, Sunnis and Shias both know this happens. Now, how many are you going to go and reform? It's already happened in the past to so many women, so many wives, so many whom your right hands possess, slave, war captives. And you're saying, that's okay. I don't care about that. My Islam, the way I see it today. But you didn't even stop them. What kind of a little dot you are? in the modern times. Have you ever thought, oh, the rest have taken it. Daniel, what can I do with you? Muslim, I can't do anything with you. I don't care if someone's wife, mother, daughter, sister, in the past 1400 years since, Sunni, Shia, Salafi. I just care what's today. And today, even it's going on. And you can help out. What hypocrisy, careless. What are you defending? Will you be able to defend those? Or even today, what's happening to these women, wives, Muslim wives? It is he who expelled the ones, right? So enough. I think I need to take a break. I don't want to even read this. Did they break your houses? Allah cast terror into their hearts. Don't let me go far. I need a break. Sorry, I don't have that much of a heart. And also today not feeling too well. Haven't eaten even. Things like that. Just going to take some snack or some. I have eaten sandwich or what earlier. I haven't eaten in the night time proper meals. So I'm very tired. I don't know. I've come this far. That's the passion. In the end, I'll be gone because it's overexhaustion for me. And I'll have to, after the trauma, it's like tossing and turning. Thank you. And thank you for understanding my health. Those who did, those who didn't, I don't know. So did I come to, oh no, I didn't come to Surrey. So you can go see the good eyes and try to, the way your prophet has, satanically. Right? 27. Show them how peaceful your prophet was. And he caused you to inherit their land and their homes and their properties and a land which you have not trodden. And ever is Allah over all things competent. So not only fight them, but Allah caused you to inherit the land, the enemies of Allah. Who are they? Hypocrites. Who are they? These confederates who fought. Allah brought down from the fortresses those people of the book who had supported the invading confederates, right? That is, Jews of the Bani Qurayza. And cast such terror into their hearts that some of them you kill and some of them you take captive. You see, why this happened, you need to properly, in an unbiased manner, see. And then, Bulkulyane, you have put a bulldozer, but you took over them. He caused you to inherit their land, their homes, their properties, and a land which you have not trodden. What about that? Whose? And these are not the Bani Qurayza who helped the Confederates, i.e. that taken in subsequent conquests. Islam and its conquests. What does that tell you? Subsequently, you will conquest. So the Abu Bakr, all were doing what they were doing because of this. Because what Prophet Muhammad and it's Allah and the Prophet Muhammad taught them to do. Islamic conquest. What does this tell you? What are conquests? Conquering lands, conquering other people's properties, homes. Which peaceful religion allows you to do that subsequently? And when you tread on those lands, you will be taking their homes, their properties, and putting the false blame on them. That what did they do? No, no, no. You just don't conquer like that. Shias will tell you Abu Bakr was wrong if he had ever conquested lands. This is just for this period of time against the Bani Qurayza, right? And those of the people of the book who aided them. Allah did not take them down from their strongholds and cast terror into their hearts. And you go back to Surah Hasharites and see. They will not fight you. So why would the Confederates why were they with the Confederates, right? You have to see if there was any way Prophet Muhammad had ever done any caravan robbing, if he was a warmonger. There's also ayat that so there are many contradictions, like against the Bedouins, but then against the Muslims also. So there's such a hodgepodge contradiction, and you've tried to make sense out of this. So if I don't come this way, I will come the other way. Because I see it and I wonder at I'm devastated at the crimes you will allow and you've allowed in the past. But you say no, they are not crimes. He's very tolerant. If he was very tolerant, then those who came to fight you even those. Let's say someone comes to fight me and I ask, why have you come to fight me? Right? I will ask that, right? Was there any time, Surah Hasharat 2, where some people were expelled from the city when he could have left that city with his Muslims? It wasn't his city. Was there any time he's done injustice on others? Like Jews in Surah Hashar, we are told. That is injustice. That is transgression beyond bounds against them, because they didn't expel him. Maybe they were trying to get help because he was causing great disorder in their city. Yes, there are examples in the Quran. Definitely Surah Ashar is one. And if they come to fight you, I didn't complete that. Do not call for peace. Then you are saying, oh, I'm so peaceful. You should be violence against violence. If you can stop them by calling for peace, why not? Do not call for peace, Quran ayat. Do not weaken and call for peace while you are superior. Oh, the superior person always calls for peace. Surah Muhammad. I say Muhammad like a Farsi, Irani. Sorry, accent has stuck on me since childhood. Learning Nadia Ali when I was 2.5 years old, put in a school, Iranian school, and taught Nadia Ali. So do not weaken and call for peace while you are superior. Good God. And Allah is with you and will never deprive you of your deeds. This is a warmonger. Have I established so far what I wanted to establish? Those who reject Allah and hinder men from the path of Allah, then die rejecting Allah, Allah will not forgive them. Surely apostates will not be killed here in this ayat. O you believe, obey Allah and obey the Messenger, and make not vain your deeds. Indeed, those who disbelieved and averted people from the path of Allah, making public against Islam, and then died while they were disbelievers, maybe like how we ex-Muslims are doing, never will Allah forgive them. And you say they are forgiven. That's another time. Or is it not clear by now that one thing is said, but another thing is said somewhere else? And Surah Hashr tells me that transgression happened beyond bounds, zone, oppression against those Jews. Why? They didn't break down houses of the Muslims. If you claim, even take the history and claim that they killed some Muslims, breaking down houses and all what? They didn't break your houses down. Look at the examples, reasons you give. It's totally unacceptable. I'm sorry. So do not, and or someone came and said they attempted an assassination on Prophet Muhammad. Breaking their houses is not right. To get to them like that. Call them out. Wait until they come out. You can't go into their houses breaking their houses. Cutting down trees. Taking their property, their homes, expelling them from the city, their own city. When you can leave the city, let's say if I can leave right now, because I can't bring a good change. I can't do any good here. I might need to get a better environment where I will not be harassed, where I will be supported. I will not be afraid that if I go out, I could be arrested for no reason. Shouldn't I leave? Rather than plan to kill those who want to get me arrested on false pretext. I would leave, right? Be the great person, leave. I don't want to kill anyone. And if they attempted assassination on Prophet Muhammad, then please leave their city immediately. They don't want you there. You don't have to kill them, break their houses, expel them from the city. It's not even his birth city. So do not weaken and call for peace. What would you do as a great superior person? You would call for peace. This is his ego fight. This is his ego coming out. Psychologists, where are you? Please, I'm sorry, I did not do psychology, but I can understand the psychology of an egotistic person here. I know what humility is, and I know by far it doesn't come up to the standards of that universal. Peace, patience, forbearance, for the sake of thy Lord do thou endure patiently. Call for peace. Maybe they will not fight you. They'll stop fighting you. You see, here we have Bedouins who didn't want to fight. Surah Fatayat. Please don't forget these things. Right? And they are told, just because they said, and that you punish, okay? So now, this part, this ayat, indeed, what's this? For Allah belong the forces of the heavens and the earth. Indeed, we have sent you as a witness and a bringer and a warner, that you may believe in Allah, Messenger, honor him, respect him, and exalt him morning and afternoon. Indeed, those who pledge allegiance to you are actually 11th. Those who remain behind of the Bedouins will say to you, our properties and our families occupied us. So ask forgiveness for us. For goodness sakes, I've explained this so many times. They say with their tongues what is not within their hearts. Okay, but are they giving you a fight? No, but I don't even believe this. But I hope I've established why I don't believe in, they've put in the category of hypocrites, and some hypocrites even God can forgive. Some God will not forgive. They're not even fighting you. Why should, but they don't want to help. Go for the conquest of Makkah with them. But you thought that the messenger and the believers would never return to their families ever. And that was made pleasing in your hearts. And you assumed an assumption of evil and became a people ruined. So you see, if those who say Muslims, like the Jews who have become Muslims, here we're told the Bedouin Jews, if they say no, our properties, and if Rasulullah calls for help, calling all Muslims to help him, go to Makkah or somewhere, because maybe they could give him a fight, a war. You need to leave your family and your work, right? And whoever has not believed in Allah and His Messenger, then indeed we are prepared. Whoever has not believed in Allah and His Messenger, not in only Allah, then indeed we have prepared for the disbelievers a blaze. And to Allah belongs the dominion. He forgives whom He wills and punishes whom He wills. But I hope His will operates on justice, right? That's what we thought. Those who remain behind will say, when you set out toward the war booty, let us follow you. They wish to change the words of Allah. Say, never will you follow us. Thus did Allah say before, so they will say, rather you envy us. But in fact, they were not understanding. I really think Prophet Muhammad envied the Jews of Yathrib. They had oases, they had a good irrigation system, and they were quite progressive. They had businesses, they didn't want to leave. They were quite happy there with the Parsis living next to them in Makkah, their adjacent neighbors. Rather you envy. I think Prophet Muhammad envied them. And you remember this, that ayat I gave you earlier on, please? I can't remember where I've read some Muslims who, they say they want to change the command of Allah or the word of Allah, decrees, permit us to follow you. They wish to change Allah's decree. What's Allah's decree? So it's that ayat, it's coming and going. Captives. Until Prophet Muhammad, until Prophet has subdued land. He takes no captives. Now I'm kind of very tired. So sorry, can't. Surah Anfal. It behoves not a prophet to take captives until he has sufficiently suppressed the enemies in the land. What will we do with few captives? Anyways, I keep going. But the point here is with Surah Fatayat, they merely seek the gains of the world. You merely, who are the you? Allah himself is saying you Muslims, i.e., right? Seek the gains of the world, whereas Allah desires for you good. So what? Can you blame the Bedouins in Surah Fat if they had said this? I don't believe they had, because I don't believe in the Quran ayats anymore at all. But I have to prove it this way, show you this way. What does it say? Yeah, they were right in saying that if you, because there are some Muslims, these are not disbelievers. These are some Muslims who wanted gain of the world, and they're told, no, you merely seek the gains of the world, whereas Allah desires for you good of the hereafter. Think about it, think about it. Anything else? Taking over of Makkah and Yathrib, changing it to Medina. Surah Azab shown 27. Surah. Haven't gone through some of the Surah Tawbah ayats to show you how how it's put, and how the killing and how the cleaning out of polytheists, and even the neighbors around you, so that you would have no evil around you, even as your neighbors, around the boundaries maybe of Makkah, leaving out Medina, maybe Medina also, I don't know, around that boundaries, until when you can fight them, because we don't want evil influence around us, nearby, anywhere nearby us. So fight them also. Surah Tawbah ayats. I didn't go analyzing. I have a slight headache coming on. Surah Hashr, little bit, that second ayat. Didn't go to the cutting down of trees and all that. To show you. So, what's in conclusion? I have already reached the conclusion. Muslims had alliances with non-Muslims, thus Islam is tolerant towards other religions and other people, non-Muslims. No way. This is such a deceptive, you see, I've gone through those deceiving, hypocritical ayats, obscure, try to show you between the lines. Also, sometimes very clearly it's put in. Show you how, but no, very calculatingly, or it's missed the way it's put that word, and cunningly. Cunning way it's put. Oh, so no way. No way. Seemingly, those good eyes, the hypocrites, they come seemingly good with you. They say we believe, but when they go behind your backs, they bite their fingertips in rage against you. So, please. So this is Shaitan's Nana, Dada, grandfather. Maternal, paternal. Thank you so much. I will continue later if I have to. Thank you. Persevered here. Zalmi returns. Thank you for the help that you offered me at times here on this live stream. God bless you, your family members, your country, your people, and I mean it. And here for making a change in the world, bringing truth and justice. But in the past, can't go back, can't turn back time, and have put him in his right place, which the Jews wanted to, and the polytheists also, but were killed and expelled and God knows what. Atrocities against them happened.